What is a pretend listener? It happens to all of us at some point in time. Our significant other asks a question. We answer only to realize they haven't listened to a word we've just said. Such an act is utterly frustrating and hurtful. Yet, it's really hard to throw stones because we all do exactly the same thing, only in reverse. This is how it goes with my husband and I. We go out to dinner because it's been a hectic day and we just don't want to cook and clean up after. Our minds are buzzing about the day's events, so somewhere after we've talked through these happenings, someone asks an unrelated question. That's when the offense happens. So the person, that would be me, starts answering the question unaware that the other, that would be my husband, doesn't seem to know that I'm talking. Then it dawns on me and I think, he hasn't listened to a word I just said, so why did he ask the question? I ask, "Did you hear what I said?" He looks up with a guilty expression and says, "Oh no, I'm so sorry. Would you mind repeating that?" So I answer with a Reader's Digest version of what I just said before. The worst part is, it happens again. At that point, I give up, or I get a little miffed. When asked yet again to answer, my response is, "Never mind, it wasn't important." It makes me angry and gives me the feeling that I am not important enough to pay attention to. An uneasy silence falls over us. It sets an unintended tone and causes us to not enjoy the evening as we once thought we would. Does this sound familiar? It's not that we are or our partner intend not to listen, but our minds have other plans. As soon as the question has been uttered, in a flash, our mind skips off to another thought or subject. So why did we ask the question in the first place? Was it to fill in space, to create conversation, or to have something to do? I would ask if the question was really that important. My belief is, at the end of a very busy day, our minds are running at full speed and haven't yet settled down enough to give our partners the full attention they deserve. We ask questions that really have little to no purpose, but are to show we are interested in our partner and what they have to say. The end result is anything but. The question is asked to fill in space. The question is only to put noise in the air because we aren't yet comfortable with the silence. So why do we do it? What it all boils down to is we are not living in the present moment at the time the question is asked. Our heads are deeply buried in the events of the past day. All this causes hurt feelings and the thought that we, the not very good pretend listener, really doesn't care much about the person who's answering the question that we just asked. I find that when the question has significance or true value to the person asking, their intention to hear the answer is front and center and the asker is fully engaged in listening to the answer. Here's what I think would help. Before we open our mouths to ask a question that fills up space, take a step back and ask, is this really a question that has purpose? And am I really capable of listening? This requires us not to find ourselves in the state of self-absorption. If we can find a way to be less self-absorbed, we can make our ever so brief time with our partner much more impactful. By doing so, we can avoid the frustration and hurt that occurs when we are not capable or willing to listen to an answer to a question we have just asked. In the end, all we have is each other. While we're all busy with the minutiae of life, it's important to remember the most valuable thing we can give our friends and loved ones is our time and undivided attention. When we're truly paying attention and listening, it is amazing what we hear, learn, and see. The best part is we are then given the same gift in return.